All right, so we're being recorded. So a quick shout out to Kelly D, right? She sets the example for all of us. She is mom of 4, one brand new one, Miss Audie, that is always there and always cool and happy and hanging out. And it's awesome. So thanks, Kelly. She showed up and helped us at one of our golf things that we did recently. And I think we got more attention because Audie was there than any other reason. And in fact, with the golf tournament, Tracy and I did a couple of them in the last, couple weeks of these golf events. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit. But we almost sent Kelly a message that says, hey, bring Audie back. We need to drag more people over here because she's like she's like the beacon. Everybody heads that way. So pretty awesome. But as always, thanks everybody for joining us. It's Tuesday. I'm going to go over some basic things. Next week or the week after, we're trying to coordinate a couple of guest speakers. One of the upcoming guest speakers is going to talk about the business, about taking this to businesses and talking about the health insurance world and how to talk to business owners about how affecting biometrics of a large group. So if you're talking to the actual owner of the business and you can talk to them about affecting the biometrics of before their wellness checks. I had a long conversation with somebody that's very knowledgeable in this field recently, and his comment to me was, if you could do one thing to help a business, it would be to get to that business owner about 30, 60, or preferably 90 days prior to their wellness check or to their open enrollment, when everybody comes in and they do all their biometric testing. So basically they pull blood and they do other things, they test them. And if you can get into them and create some sort of a challenge where the owner of the business is willing to subsidize their ability to get into using the nutrition with the intent of impacting those biometrical readings 30 or 60, 90 days from then, that is going to be a huge thing, because if the biometrics of the group are better, then the insurance rates for the entire business is lower. So if you have business owners, and whether it's small or large, and you talk to them about how they get their insurance, how they get their health insurance, and how this can impact. Now, very important thing, you have to stay compliant when you're having this conversation. So you're not saying that isogenics is going to cure or prevent or change any of these biometrics. What you can say is that you can come in, you can promote using, good nutritional habits. You can talk about macros. I think that for me has been like a huge door opener for having conversations with people. But if you talk to them about getting their biometrics adjusted, and you talk to them about doing that through the use of good nutrition, and it just so happens that we offer great nutrition, then that can impact those results. Okay, you're not going to cure, you're going to impact those results by improving their nutrition and showing them how to hit their macro numbers, their proteins, fats, and carbs, utilizing our nutrition. Okay, so real important way to present that and stay compliant, because again, you don't want to get in there and say, hey, look, we're going to cure everything. You don't want to do that. So look at Bob Durkin, not at work. Amazing. So Mr. Day Shift guy with weekends off now, living the dream. So anyway, I'm going to go over a few things. One of the things that I wanted to touch on, and any of you that watched the Facebook live thing that I did, you've seen some of this, but I'm going to do this again. And then Tracy is watching the chat. So if you guys have questions, feel free to throw those out. But I got all my notes here. So first things first, the contest. So right now, we've got a couple of contests that we've done. And just so you guys know how we're doing these most recently, because things are changing, constantly trying to do different things to see what works. Tracy and I and April and Garrett have hired an assistant who is also now going to start building a business. Imagine that, right? But her name is Misty. So any of you that have sent an email to assistant@teamshadystyle.com or to admin@moxie free, if you send an email to either of those addresses, you are talking to Misty. Okay. Misty is the one that's coordinating a lot of the things. I hope, and I want to get some feedback on this. Is the emails that we're creating that are coming out, and she's creating these emails to help send these out to one. We started with our terminated people, and then we'll start sending them out to other people in the database just to make sure that they're aware of different contests and things. Hopefully, if your people are sending their information in, or if you are sending in your new people's information when you enroll them, like their emails and stuff, then the goal is to, when a seasonal shake comes out, if you forget to notice them, or if they jump out of one of the product pages, that they will get an email from us saying, hey, there's a new seasonal shake out. Guess what it is? And it's awesome. It's wonderful. And if you buy 2 canisters, you're going to be put in a drawing, blah, 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 right? So that's the goal. So you want to make sure that you're sending in your people's names, email addresses, ID numbers, so that we can input them in the data bank, so that when these offers come out, we send them out to everybody. Same thing goes with the business side. We're going to send out the business opportunities to everybody. Hey, just so you know, it's free enrollment. Just so you know, whatever opportunity that we're offering, right? So right now, the contest is, or the incentive is that if you have somebody on your team who you want to help make a consultant, or if you have people on your team that are trying to build their own consultants, then we are matching the Isagenix $100 rank advancement. So if somebody becomes a consultant, the person who sponsored them will receive $100 from Isagenix. If that person enrolls 2 new people to become a consultant, then they will get an additional $100 from us. If they only enroll 1 person, let's say you got somebody in your downline that is a pirate, right? They got 1 enrollment but not 2, then we will pay them. We'll still bonus them, but we're only going to bonus them $50. So they're only going to get $50 for a single enrollment that makes them a consultant. They'll get $100, and the sponsor, not the person that becomes a consultant, but the sponsor of that person. So this is where it's really important for you guys to reach down to your team and tell your team, hey, look, you can get $200 if you show Sally how to become a consultant, right? So whoever they've enrolled, whoever their downline is, if they've enrolled, this is the opportunity to make that happen. Now, the way that we're paying these things now, and the way that we're doing our drawings and all this kind of stuff, is the Wednesday following the end of the contest. Okay, so when a contest ends on a Sunday, there ain't nothing going to happen on that until Wednesday, because Wednesday is our meeting that we do, face-to-face meeting that we do with Tracy and I, April, and Misty. So we all get together and meet and go over all of this. And the more complicated that the contest is, and I shouldn't say more complicated because that's not it so much, it's the more, the larger it is, then the more time it takes. And just so you guys know, I don't know, we got, I think someplace like around 100 people that did the 2 canisters of shakes or more, right? So when you've got that many people and you have to track them all, and I hope that you guys understand when we're saying, hey, you've got to put this in the subject line, or when your person says, oh, I sent them the information, but they sent it back and said I didn't fill everything out. I'm sorry, guys, but we really want to be successful for you guys, but we really have to ask for all that information to be pulled up. And yeah, we could probably dig around and find it, but if I dig around and find somebody else's ID number, then I've got to dig around and find everybody's ID number, and we're paying Misty by the hour, and I really don't want to have to pay her by the hour to find an ID number that somebody could have just written down, right? So that's kind of the rule on that. On this most recent contest that we're doing, if you read it, it said that they need to send, if they qualify, so if they enroll 2 people, then they need to send Misty an email asking for a form, okay? So what we've created at this point is a form that then Misty will then send to them. So this allows her double tracking. So let's say Vicky sends it in, right? So Vicky sends in the request. Now Misty knows to log that Vicky's entered the contest, right? We don't know if she's completed or not, but she's entered. And then when she gets the email back with the form filled out, she now has a completion of that contest. So it's kind of a double check system on how this is working. And what we're hoping to accomplish is to be able to create a form that posts with the contest. So in the future, what we're hoping to have is when you see the contest, there will be a form attached, and then people have to grab that form, fill it out, and send that in. And that's the goal as this continues to get bigger and bigger and as our teams continue to grow. So again, the goal is to make it easier, and it may seem a little bit more of a pain in the butt, but honestly, guys, I mean, we're pumping out $100 to somebody, they can fill out a form, right? And that's, you know, that's my gentle red saying, just do it if they want my $100, right? So anyway, that's how that works, right? Tracy, are there any questions on that? Test your mic, babe. See if I can hear you. No. If you're talking, I cannot hear you. Okay, I can hear you yelling at me from the other room. No questions. All right, very cool. All right, so okay, so we got invited to a well, two things have happened. One, we got invited. Jill Bowman coordinated an event at Isagenix Corporate where she invited 50 people from her team to go to this presentation where they kind of gave us a general tour, which they always do. But then after the tour, then they took us to a boardroom and did a presentation on several different topics. And there were several people that were there. Again, Miss Audie made a splash there as well. But the board presentation went really well. And a couple of highlights that I took away from that are this. ConsumerLab.com, apparently they are a third-party organization that does testing and stuff like that. And some time ago, I'm not exactly how long ago, but they did a big research and or study, I should say, where they studied all these different products that came out. And 36% of the products that are listed, like in GNC and Costco and things like that, or the grocery store, that say they have something in it, don't actually have it in there. Okay, so about 36%. You know, if they said it was turmeric, it wasn't turmeric. It was like dandelion powder or something, right? So, and if it says it was whey protein, it wasn't the amount that they said it was, or it wasn't the type that they said it was. So there's 36% inaccuracies for companies that put their product on a shelf and sell it to you. That's the big scan that GNC just got hit with just a few months ago that was in the news, where they went in and tested a bunch of their products and they said it didn't have in it what it said it did. One of the things that's supposed to be happening in the near future is that the FDA is supposed to be changing some of that. A really cool thing about the FDA that I didn't know, the FDA does not approve any food. Okay, so when they say, is Isagenix approved? Well, no food is FDA approved. Okay, drugs are approved by the FDA, but food is not approved. The processes of which that food is created and brought to market are approved or regulated by the FDA. And Isagenix has to follow those same approval processes, those approved processes, as any other food company does. Okay. Supplements have another tier that they have been, quite honestly, the FDA hasn't dealt with, that they're now getting more involved in, and the FDA is going to get more involved in checking supplements and supplement companies to be sure that they're actually providing what they're saying that they're providing. So the good news is for us is that we're with a company that does this. They do third-party testing. And this I thought was amazing. Every single batch of ingredients that's brought in to Isagenix for Isagenix's purchase and turned into product, every batch is tested. Okay, every single batch is tested. If it's whey protein, it's tested. If it says it's turmeric, it's tested. If it's some other ingredient, it's tested. So every single batch of products is tested, and it's not only just tested to make sure that it actually is that product, it's also tested for the efficacy. There, how's that work for a word for you? Woo, I got 10 cents for that one, right? I got the double thumbs up for that product, right? So a Kansas farm kid can throw out some syllables. But the reality is that everything is tested, and the effective products those products are tested and make sure that they're actually present, right? So you can be comfortable when somebody says, hey, look, is this really there, or why is it more expensive? Well, it is more expensive, but we also pay money to have all this product tested to make sure that they're getting what they say they're getting, right? So I thought that was really cool. I was excited to hear that. Another one that was kind of interesting, vitamins. So the vitamins that are in Isagenix products are created the same way that most, I think they said they gave a high percentage rate. I'm going to say 90-ish% of all vitamins are created this way, but they're done through a fermentation process. Okay, so vitamins are created through a fermentation process. These vitamins that are created through this fermentation process are done this way. For one, they are effective, right? But the other reason is it's a little bit less, actually it's not a little bit, it's a lot less expensive and a lot less wasteful than trying to extract the vitamins from the from an original plant source or an original food source. So imagine how much cabbage that you would have to utilize, or not cabbage, but my brain's skipping me for some spinach. Spinach is the word. Big green ball or something. Spinach that you would have to use and process, and how much waste would happen if they went in and they were trying to extract all the vitamins and minerals from, or the vitamins, not the minerals, but the vitamins from that spinach, right? Where they can create the same process through this process of fermentation. So our vitamins do come from a fermentation process, which is the same as what most vitamins are, but we know that our vitamins are effective, right? So, because again, they are also tested, okay? You will notice on the and I didn't notice this before, but on the non-dairy shakes, the vitamins are not listed, okay? And the reason the vitamins are not listed is because in order to be truly vegan, you cannot use fermented vitamins in a truly vegan product, okay? So in order for Isagenix to be compliant with the vegan community, we have elected to not include the vitamins in there. So you're not going to get the same vitamin profile from the non-dairy shakes that you do from the whey-based products, okay? So it's an important bit of information. And they gave far better job than I can do for you guys as far as explaining all the process behind it, but that's the highlight of it, okay? So just know that. Whey, and I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but these were big ones to me. When you get an isolene shake, okay, dairy cattle, whey protein to casein, okay? Whey protein is one form of protein, and casein is another form of protein, okay? Casein is a protein that takes longer for the body to digest and is more filling into your body. So it's better for weight loss, the casein, okay? So you've got whey-based protein, which is highly bioavailable, processes quickly, and then you have casein, right? If somebody understands this differently than what I'm explaining it, then please throw that out there, but this is my understanding of it. Casein from cattle is, let's see, it's 80% casein and 20% whey is what's in cattle. In human breast milk, right, it's 60% whey and 40% casein, okay? In our isolene shake, we have the same profile as what you find in human milk. So it's 60% whey and 40% casein is what's in our isolene shake. When they add in the IsaPro, and so basically you're taking the Isolene Pro shake, that's going to be 80% whey and 20% casein, okay? So one of the reasons that our products are so effective for not just muscle building, but also for helping in weight loss is the increased amount of casein, because that increased amount of casein helps with the feeling of being full because that protein takes longer to break down. Okay, I thought that was a very important aspect of how that works. So anyway, that's the percentages on it. Again, it's 60-40, so 60% whey, 40% casein in the isolene, and 80% whey and 20% casein in the isolene pro. And that's because of the additional, because of the added protein. For those of you that don't know, in a packet of isolene pro, that's 1.5 scoops of isolene and 1 scoop of isopro. Okay. All right. Last topic on the mineral side of this, fiber. The reason that a lot of people have problems with gas and constipation and all these kind of things is because in the isolene product, it's I believe it was 8% or 8 grams of fiber, and that is more fiber than most people ever are used to taking on into their system. Okay, so when they're taking this in initially, one of the things that they're receiving is they're receiving this additional fiber. The other thing that they're getting is all of these active enzymes, and these active enzymes cause more gut microbes because it's trying to improve gut health. And when you go through a situation where their stomach is in bad shape, maybe they've been taking a lot of antibiotics and they've killed a lot of their gut enzymes and things like that, then when they take this nutrition in and all of a sudden they're experiencing gas and bloating and constipation and whatever else, it's most likely due to the added fiber and the increased number of gut microbe that's going on in their system, and they just haven't been used to that before. And until that balances out, and depending on how bad off they are, it could last for a period of time, up to a couple of months, okay, before their stomach is really back and up and running like it's supposed to. So for those people that use it and they go, oh my gosh, I'm having blah, whatever it is, right? That situation they're dealing with is just their stomach trying to get back in line, right? This whole, and I know a lot of us have said, oh, it's effective detoxing. It's really, they said it's probably not detoxing. It's probably just their stomach is so jacked that this is trying to put them back into place, right? So that's one of the other big issues. So anyway, thought those were interesting topics that they covered on the nutrition side, and I thought that was worth sharing. Next 12 months, got lots of great things going on. We'll be going into the United Kingdom by the first part of next year. So if you know people in UK, then this is going to be the time to start reaching out, making sure that they know that we're coming. Do not enroll people. Do not ship stuff over there. They said that like 1,000 times. And the reason is that if we start shipping product over there, then that can actually cause a setback to the actual ability to actually release the products when it comes time. So they're saying, please don't start shipping products over there, to people for that purpose. The expansion into the European Union will basically be 3 countries at a time, right? And what will happen is that they're going to, by the middle of next year, they're expecting to expand to the 3 closest countries around the UK, and then continue to expand, 3 countries around there, 3 countries around there, and just to globally expand through that area. But they're going to expand, and I don't know what the rationale is, but in groups of 3. But they expect to be into Germany by the end of next year. Okay, so the goal is to be into Germany by the end of next year. So again, expansion into Europe is happening. It's already in process. There's already things going on. The way that they said the best way to build your business there isn't to jump a plane and fly over there, but is to try to build your social network, or to deal with people that that are already traveling over there on a regular basis. Okay, so people that travel there regularly, people that live there, people that do business there, those are the people that you want to talk to, and just let them know that this is happening, that there's going to be a nutrition company that's going to be able to offer product there, and just make sure that those doors are, try to start friend requesting those people, getting them in your Facebook feed, go ahead and put them in the nutrition pages, let them know that this is coming. Just understand that we can't ship it to them until it actually arrives. Okay. New website in January. Pardon me. There's some different flavors of e-shots coming on board. There's some new bars coming on board. The new website's coming in January. So in January, there will be a brand new website. Apparently it's going to be a whole lot more user-friendly, a lot more one-click, click now, make things happen a lot faster. All that stuff's supposed to happen. Some loyalty reward programs are going to start happening to increase our consumer base, not so much our builder base, but our consumer base. Reference, free possibly, and these are just ideas, guys, so don't say this is going to happen, but free shipping for the first 3 months, maybe like a Kohl's cash type program, cash rewards type program, where the more you buy, you get cash to buy more stuff. That's kind of what that $25 coupon thing is that's going on right now. If you buy 125 BV, then you got a $25 coupon in your back office. That's an example of what they're going to use to continue to go forward. Let's see, maybe some children's products, some more child-friendly products or more child-geared product line, pre and probiotics. But the one thing they talked about the pre and probiotics, as well as the brain health and support, is that there are some really, really good stuff out there, and our scientists are aware of some really, really good stuff that's out there. The problem is, when you put a price tag on it, I shouldn't say nobody, but very few people are going to want to say, oh, I'm in for that, because they don't think about brain health or pre and probiotics until they have a problem. And then when they have a problem, the price doesn't matter. But prior to that, when you talk to somebody about, memory, enhancing memory and doing these kind of things, they may or may not even recognize it. They may be willing to take it on board, right? But how many of you have been able to convince people to start just buy individual bottles of product B, for example, right? It's not like a really sexy, it's going to make you, it's going to make you hot and sexy kind of product. It's just good health product, right? And some people can't really buy into that, if you will. And that was the problem that they have, or that's the difficulty they have in moving forward in a big way towards these pre and probiotics, because they know that they can create them and they know we would have the best ones, but when we throw the price tag on them, would anybody buy them? And that's something that we have to take into consideration. Seasonal shakes and seasonal shake club membership. So maybe like a seasonal shake club membership where you become a member of the seasonal shake club and you're going to get whatever number of shakes that you say you want just shipped to you automatically. So the day that it comes active, boom, you know that you're going to get 1, 2, 4, 6, 10 canisters of the new shake, because you have already pre-registered in this club to get that. So that was another thing. So you don't have to worry about trying to be online right when it happens. Okay. Let's see, the new website, new products, athlete line. Big news coming in the athlete line. Huge news coming in the athlete line, actually. In the athlete world, there are a couple of different certifications that can be acquired for a product to be able to be used by an Olympian or a Major League Baseball player or a professional football player when it comes to supplements. In the United States, we typically use what's called NSF for sport, and that is what's typically used in the US. But in the international world of like professional soccer and some other things, there is a certification that's called, oh man, I've lost my piece of paper, but it's something choice. Sorry guys, I don't have it here, and I don't know why, but it's not attached to my book. Anyway, it's
informed choice.
Yeah, there you go. Informed choice for sport, right there. Thanks, sis. So informed choice for sport. And informed choice for sport is what is recognized worldwide versus the NSF for sport that's recognized here in the United States. And so Isogenics is going forward with getting this informed choice for sport certification, and that's going to include Ionics, Amped Power, Amped Recover, I guess I should say the entire Amp line, and Isoline Pro and Isa Pro are going to be the targets for this informed choice for sport product. Okay, so that's going to be the big deal. Oh, and I hate to go back on this, but I am. NOx, because I question all the time. NOx is nitrates, and the real short story on this is nitrates, vegetables, good for you. Take it if you can. So taking a bottle of Knox once every couple of days is good for you. There's no question. It's good nutrition, and it's helpful if you need your nitrates. But if you are looking at Knox for performance, you need to be on it every day and no misses, because it takes about 5 days for it to fully load in your system to be effective for the performance aspect of Knox. Okay, so taking it a couple of times a week is good for you. There's no problem with it. But it's not going to give you the performance that you're looking for. If you're wanting something like that, you're better off using the amped power than you are using the Knox. Okay, so if you're looking for something that you can just use once in a while, power is the better answer. If you're looking for something that you want to, that you're willing to invest in every day, then Knox is your answer. They both have the same end result. It's just that they go through two different pathways to give you that result. Okay, and that result is to increase your body's ability to process out waste during fitness. Okay, that's the goal of both of those products. All right, so on to the next stuff. Any questions on that? I see the question buttons popping up. Tracy, is there anything? No? Okay. All right, so I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about questions that we get regularly, and that is consistency and action. And something that happens, we get is people reach out to us and they say, okay, what do you guys do, right? What are you actually doing? What would it be like? How much effort are you guys having to put in? So I'm going to give you an example, okay? This is Tracy and I just wrote down we basically just went through the calendar real quick and kind of picked out some things. But I'm going to show you this is what our last, I think it was 45 days has consisted of, okay? So the last 45 days, we've done 2 golf tournaments, 2 charity-based golf tournaments. We do our Tuesday team calls. We do our weekly meetings every Wednesday. We did a launch on August 1st, a launch on August 25th, and a launch on September 7th. We went to Celebration. I do an adventure run booth on the 3rd Thursday of every month. We've done vendor booths on 8/26 and 8/27, and these are 2 different venture booths. Business prospect dinner on 8/31, which was actually a business owner talking about business. Ran the 30-day challenge for a gym. We've done multiple 3-way calls. The golf tournaments we did were on September 11th and September 14th, and the adventure run was on September 15th. And we had another golf-related event on September 17th. We've had 5 different independent meetings with not necessarily our personally enrolled, but with people where we've actually met with them with their packs and gone over their packs. And then the individual team trainings when people have called us up and said, hey, can you help us with this or can you help us with that, right? Now, that doesn't include all the other stuff that, that's just kind of the day-to-day stuff. But when you're talking about consistency and action, and I'm telling you guys, I did one of the vendor booth things that I did was for a bike shop. 2 people showed up, okay? 2 people, right? The bike shop put it on. They said, hey, come in. We're going to have our members show up. You can talk to them, blah, blah, blah. I showed up. 2 people showed up. One of them is on the call right now. Norma, thanks for showing up, right? So Norma showed up, brought somebody. And so me and Norma and her friend, we sat and we talked about it. But what does that look like, guys? That bike shop for me is about 12 to 15 miles from my house, okay? So 12, 15 miles each way, getting there, setting up, making and Norma can attest to it. I had Isopro, or I had Amped Hydrate, I had Power made up, I had Recover made up, I had the whole booth set up, and they were the only 2 there, okay? It happens, but it's time, and it's valuable time, right? But it's time, and it is what it is. We did a golf event on September 11th, which is a Sunday. Nobody wants to, you may not want to be working on a September 11th or on a Sunday, but that's the kind of stuff that I'm not going to tell you that you have to do, but I'm telling you guys, if you really want to make this thing work, then, and I know you guys are here a great example. I'm looking at the Durkas sitting over there with the kids on the couch, right? So that's an important aspect of just deciding if you're going to be on these calls and deciding if you're going to be here and be present to make these things happen. So anyway, and that's why every Tuesday I start the same way. And that is, I tell you guys, thanks for being here, because I would host this call if there was one person on here, and I'll host this call when there's 1,000 people on here. But that's just what we do. Okay. So just know that that's kind of what you kind of got to go through. Okay? Let's see. I think that was the big items that I wanted to hit on. Let's see if there was anything else on the. And I did that Facebook Live, and I want to encourage you guys to do that. Even if you don't do it on your personal page, do it on the Team Shady page. When you guys do a booth, please do a Facebook Live of your booth and put it on Team Shady. I think that's valuable. I think everybody is constantly wanting to see what a booth setup looks like, how we all design our booths, what we do with, gifts and giving and stuff like that. A good example of this last booth that we did, it was from that big nail the scale that we did for the school district. So they allowed us to have the booth, and they didn't charge us for the booth, but we agreed to give away a decent amount of product for their drawing. But because of the fact that that the golfers were just kind of showing up, and they'd kind of, a couple of them had come over, but they wouldn't all come over, we ended up stapling a business card to sticks of hydrate. And then when the golfers would show up, we'd say, hey, we got freebies over here. And now all of a sudden everybody shows up, right? Because you're giving free stuff away. So, and again, they're $1 and some change a piece, and there was 140 something golfers. So it became an investment to hand these out, plus the other product that we gave out. But you have to decide if it's worth it, right? We haven't gotten an enrollment from this, so we'll see. But the exposure is something. The business cards are something. We collected some names and some emails, so we will put them into our email database and our messaging database. But that's what it's about. And so I encourage you guys, when you do booths, to make sure that it's more about collecting data than it is about giving business cards away. Because giving business cards away doesn't guarantee that the person's ever going to talk to you again. Collecting their information is going to guarantee that at least you're going to be able to send them an email or a voicemail or a text or something. Whereas if you just give them your card and they don't have anything of or you don't have anything of theirs, you may or may not ever hear from them again. Okay. So I just really encourage you guys to make sure that you're collecting data when you are doing these booths and stuff like that. It's single best thing for us. Is there a question, Trace? Okay. All right. I don't have too much else, guys, and I don't want to keep pushing this along just for the purpose of making it happen. So if you guys got any questions that you want to ask or something, punch or raise your hand button, and we'll motor through this and finish this off. Anybody?
Brent, did you go over the little form that Misty's put into the team pages to have people fill that out, and then the fact that the emails, some of them that we sent out, were not opened? I don't know if we want to talk about that now, but just kind of what we're doing with that.
Yeah, I talked a little bit about the fact that we're going to require a form to be filled out for some of these contests, and talk about why we're collecting the data to be able to make sure that that we send out information about shakes and specials and opportunity. As far as opening the emails, because we can see who opens emails or who doesn't open emails, make us all smile. Click open and
well, but really another kind of fact finding that we're doing is not everybody reads their email. I mean, you might have 5,000 emails unopened, and you just are not an email person unless you're expecting something. And so we just are kind of trying to fact find within our little group. Our text messages better, our voicemails better, our emails better. What's the best way to get information out? Obviously, if you're in the group, then you're engaged to some degree. But what if somebody's, not on Facebook? What if they're sort of a product user? What's the best way to keep them informed of promotions and stuff? If it's not email, that's kind of what we're trying to find out.
Yeah, and I think, even speaking from my experience and my belief is that email it's kind of old school, right? I mean, if you're an email person, then you might do it. I delete far more emails than I ever open, including ones from people I know. So And voicemail, don't leave me a voicemail, because for me to check the voicemail, it's probably going to be, it might be a week or two before I actually listen to my voicemails. I don't listen to voicemails. If my thing is, if somebody wants to reach me, call me back, send me a text message. And I know that may not be the best way, but it's what I'm doing. And I've got to believe that if I do that, then there's probably a lot of people that do the same thing. So I believe that text messaging and certainly video text or direct phone call is probably the best way to reach out to people. And I think that's what we are finding. And just so you guys know, one of the things that we're also utilizing is a system that allows you to create a voicemail, and then that voicemail, then you can send it out to a bunch of phone numbers. Okay. So you create a voicemail saying, hey, sorry I missed your call, or sorry you didn't pick up, or hey, I didn't hear a phone ring, or whatever it is that you want to say, right? And then leave your message, right? And now they're going to get that voicemail. Or do a text that sends up to them that's maybe a video text, right? That's kind of the next level that we're looking at, right? Where you create a video text and then you just send it out to everybody saying, hey, just letting you know that pumpkin shake just got released, or hey, too bad you missed out on a pumpkin shake, sold out. By the way, for those of you that don't know, pumpkin shake sold out. So that's how this is done. Okay. I know the other thing that we were going to bring up. Sorry, butterfly. On the phone call that I was invited to yesterday, so I was on a phone call last night with corporate, and that phone call they talked about what the numbers are looking like and what projections are for Isagenix over the course of the next couple of years. Isagenix is going to hit $1 billion this year, guys. Huge, huge, huge success. $1 billion, right? Well, they're hitting $1 billion, but they're not even taking the chance to really celebrate it, because now the goal is to hit $2 billion by 2018. Okay, so the goal is to have $2 billion in sales by 2018. So if you think you're in the right spot, I can promise you're in the right spot, because it's just going to keep growing up. The one thing that Kathy Coover got on and said that she was really concerned about was the fact that that money's up, right? People that are earning money are earning more, but rank advancements are down by like 24%, I think is what the number was. So rank advancements are down by about 24%. So we want to make sure that we're reaching out to and that's why we ran the contest about the consultants, because we want to encourage your consultants to rank advance. And I don't know how many of you noticed this, but over the last 2 weeks, our contest started off with, hey, you're going to get $100 if you become a consultant. And then the following week was, hey, you get $100 for creating a consultant. The goal for that was to create more managers, okay? Because if they get $100 because they became a consultant, then they get excited about, oh, I became a consultant. Now I want to create 2 more so I can make two more $100. Well, if somebody engaged in all of that, I don't know, I figured up it's like $600 and something that they would have received had they done the whole thing, right? Had they gotten the original, and that's just from a 30-day. That's not from a President's Packs, right? So $150 from Isagenix for doing 30 days, plus another $100 from us. There's $250, plus another $250 if they become managers. So there's $500, $100 for each person that would have become a consultant. So that'd be $700, and then an additional $100 from us. So $800 somebody could have made just by becoming a manager over the course of the last 2 weeks. Okay, $800. So somebody says, I can't afford this product, they're on the wrong team. If they're on this team, they say they can't afford this product, they don't want to afford the product. And I'm not saying that bad. I'm not being mean about it. I'm just saying they don't want to afford it. And that's okay, or they don't want to do the work to afford it, right? They want it, but they don't want to do the work to afford it. And I'm not going to say who it was, and I know the person's not on the call, but we actually had somebody who returned a pack, not because they didn't like the product, but because they just needed some money, right? So they sent their pack back because they decided that they had a financial issue that they needed to deal with. So they liked the product. They actually had gotten a response, and then they sent their pack back, right? I got a morality issue with that, an ethical issue with that. I don't know about morality, but certainly an ethical issue with that, right? You're taking advantage of the system by sending the pack back, not because it didn't do what they said it was supposed to do, but just because you decided that you spent your money in the wrong spot and now you need your money back, so you're sending it back. So anyway, that's the kind of stuff that we see happen. That's the kind of stuff that's going to happen to you guys. And I promise you guys, I've got more people that I've enrolled that have completely gone inactive, have terminated their positions, than some people have actually ever enrolled. So don't feel bad, you guys, when people quit. Don't get caught up in the fact that somebody quit and they didn't continue going forward and they didn't reorder and they fell out. I've got somebody today that reached out to me today. Hey, Brent, I want to get back onto the program. They've been completely silent, wouldn't receive a message, nothing for like the last 6-7 months. But now their time's back, right? And that's why, Nori talks about all the time. Don't try to change somebody's timing. Just make sure that you're there when their timing is right, okay? So be available. Make sure that you stay in front of people. Make sure that you're staying engaged. Make sure that you're staying out in front of the faces, and make sure that people know that you're doing this as a business, okay? It's super important that people understand that you're really, really doing this and that you want to see them succeed. Because if they don't think that you want to see them succeed, then it doesn't mean that much to them, right? They'll go to anybody for enrollment, right? They'll just go to whoever that they talk to next, okay? I think that, last thing, this lead generation program. So Isagenix has never had a buy it now button. Okay, if you go to isagenix.com and you can't buy it now, right? The only option is to they'll figure out a way to send you to another enrollee or another somebody who's got a link, right? And if you say that you want to buy it and you submit some form, apparently there's like 50 people in Isagenix that get all of those forms, so when people fill them out and send them in and say, hey, I want to buy the product, right? So I think she said 45 or 50 people. Wasn't very many. Not fair. Not good. Isagenix has identified that they get 1 million tags per month from independent views per month onto their website. 1 million independent views per month on their website. Since they get that 1 million independent views on their website, what they are identifying is that we've got to find a way to capture those people and to turn them into consumers, okay? The only way to capture those people and turn them into consumers is to create a buy it now button, okay? The buy it now button is going to work like this. Ashley kicks on and she says, hey, look, I want to buy it now. And she decides she wants to buy a 30-day. So she clicks on and she clicks the buy it now button and she buys it retail. And the product's going to get sent to her. And then Isagenix is going to have all of her information, okay? Whether she puts her social security number in or not, they're going to have all of her contact information. And then they're going to take that person's name and a corresponding BV, and they are going to hand that off to somebody that is a qualified recipient. And in order for what Isagenix has identified right now as a qualified recipient is an executive who's earning a minimum of 40 cycles per week every week. Not somebody who's got a recognition rank of 3-star, but they're actually hitting 40 cycles a week. Now, what happens is that person, so let's say it's Ashley, right? Her information gets sent to me. I can then, as a team leader, can take that person and I can send that person, I can assign that person to anybody on my team. Or I can take her and I can enroll her myself. Okay, that's how it's going to work. My belief, April's belief, Trace's belief is that when these leads come in, then we want to use that as another incentive layer to offer to our team. Okay, so we can then create an incentive structure just like we do with the $100 for making manager or whatever, right? Where we can identify people on the team that are actually doing the do, if you will. And those people that are doing it, then we can identify that and we can hand that lead off. Now, that lead might be somebody who bought a canister of shake, right? It might be somebody who bought a cleanse pack. It might be somebody who bought, 1 box of hydrate, right? It could be anything, but it could also be somebody who bought a business builder or a president's pack or a 30-day or something. And the goal is going to be to capture that person and get them put into our team pages so that we can coach them and educate them. What Isagenix has identified is that I think they said like 70-something% of the people that they've actually been able to speak with who have returned their product said they got it and they didn't know what to do with it. Okay. So if one of your people has returned their product and their explanation for why they returned it is because they didn't know what to do with it, then that's not good, guys. We can't let that happen. And I don't believe there's anybody on this page that has that somebody could say that, hey, yeah, I signed up under Vicky and I got my pack and I didn't know what to do with it because she didn't tell me. I wouldn't believe that. Okay. But I could believe that somebody that Vicky enrolled, that enrolled somebody could have had that happen to them, right? Because the problem is I enroll Vicky and Vicky knows all about it. And so she tells Ashley, and Ashley isn't really interested in anything to do with the business. And she's kind of doesn't really like anything, but she's going to eat her product in the dark and not tell anybody about it. But then, Norma comes along and says, hey, what are you doing? And Ashley says, oh, I'm doing this isogenics thing. You can sign up if you want. And she says, oh, fantastic. And so she signs up, but Ashley's still eating their stuff in the dark and she's not telling Norma anything. Norma gets the product and she doesn't know what the hell to do with it, right? That's what happens, guys. And that's why it's so important. And that's why we're driving so hard on telling people that if you want to get money back from us, or if you want to be part of these pumpkin programs or anything else, you've got to be in great nutrition. Okay. Now, if they get in great nutrition and then you guys have got your own product pages and you put them in there too, fantastic. No issue with that. But I'm at least going to require that their first step be that they get into great nutrition, so I know for certain that they've got the opportunity to learn. They may not take it, but they've got the opportunity to learn. And that's why you've got to put your people in the pages. And if you don't put them in the pages, and then because they ain't going to know to put their people in the pages, and then you're going to see your team falling off because your team doesn't know what to do with the product when they get it. So, Bob, since you're on, you and I both know the guy, right, that probably has enrolled people and hasn't put them in any of the pages, right? And then they're not successful because he didn't put them in the pages because he doesn't want to be in the pages, right? But he wants the enrollments, but he doesn't want to be in the pages. So that guy is a detriment to his own people because they're never going to stay around because they don't know what to do. Okay. So I'm a little passionate about that if you can't tell. But yeah, that's a big deal, guys. And if you're not doing it, then don't expect to have success from not doing the basic steps. The basic steps, you got to do them over and over again. Identify your people, bring them in your Facebook page. Bring them from your Facebook page into Great Nutrition. Bring them from Great Nutrition into becoming a consumer. Bring them from becoming a consumer to a sharer. Bring them from becoming a sharer to a business builder. 1%. 1% of your people will be a business builder. Okay? A real business builder. Not somebody that makes it to manager. I'm not talking about that person. I'm talking about the person that really wants to take this and really turns this into something. Okay? And that's a big deal. All right? So, Tracy, any questions? People that don't have Facebook. If you don't have Facebook and you don't have social media, it's tough, guys. I'm not going to say to ignore them, and I'm not going to say not to do anything with them, but I'm going to tell you this. If they don't have the media that you use to be able to communicate with a vast number of people, then here's what you got to do. I'm having a conversation right now with how many people? 31 people. And when I get off the phone, one person calls me up and says, hey, I wasn't able to make the call. Could you tell me everything you just said? Right? That's the person that's not on Facebook. Okay? That's what they want. They want you to take all of your time that you are using on Facebook, where you're sending out all this great information, all this vast amount of information, and call them, Paul, dude, free shipping. Paul, dude, pumpkins available. Paul, right? That's what they want, right? I'm not going to tell you not to do it. I'm going to tell you that the people that I've had that have said they don't have Facebook, I've said, I'm happy to help you. I'll send you all the website information. I'm going to encourage you to create a fake Facebook page if that's what you want, and jump on Facebook. And I've got somebody right now who's taken up a bit of my time because they've got a Facebook that's like nothing. I mean, they don't use it at all. and they want all the information from me, but they don't want to accept my friend's request so I can put them in the page. And so guess what I'm doing? Paul, hey, yeah, this is your macro program. So I'm not telling you that I don't do it, right? I don't want you to think I don't do it, because I do it too, right? But it's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass, because the questions that this person asking me, I've answered them 1,000 times. You guys have all answered them 1,000 times on Great Nutrition. One click, accept my friend's request. I can put you in this page and you can learn everything you want to know. But they don't. So I'm calling them up. Paul, dude, yeah, the fact that you can't take a dump, here's the problem. Take more Isoflush, right? Sorry, dude, drink more water, right? That's what I'm doing, guys. And you guys all know that's the reality. But that's what it is, right? Can't sleep at night, got to go to the bathroom, drink more water, right? But I'm making those phone calls, guys. So just so you guys know, I'm doing them too. Tracy does them, April does them, we all do them. But that's the answer, right? So again, sorry, a little off the beaten path on the answer, but that's the answer. Anything else? Getting some good laughs out of that one on me? All right, outstanding. All right, guys, it's 2 minutes till April. Got anything?
No. If you have ISA sales tools, make sure you're using the desktop functionality to it's like a buffer thing where it just puts posts out, but it's better than buffer because it has all these preset posts. You've probably seen them. They just kind of like a picture, maybe Albert Einstein or whatever, and a quote. I'm not doing any of that. That's all through the Sales Tools desktop version.
Cool. All
so
right.
If you want to be more without actually being on social media more, your Sales Tools thing. It also has capability to, on your desktop. There's a lot of stuff on desktop. So if you have Sales Tools app, you need to look at it on your desktop. It says capability to do, email templates and all this kind of stuff that would be a good idea if you're just kind of getting started.
Yeah, they are doing away with my isogenics. And Kelly, it does suck. And yes, she did marry me. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm reading chat here. So I'm just trying to catch up with anything else. Anything else, Trace? Okay. All right, cool. Well, like I said, guys, I appreciate your time immensely. I hope that this is valuable. We are going to try to bring in some, like I promised, we are going to bring in some additional guest speakers on some different topics. If there are specific topics that you'd like covered, shoot us a message and we'll get somebody to talk about them besides me, and get some of that stuff done so that you guys can hear somebody else talk on these calls, okay? And if anybody here would like to step out of their comfort zone and do a presentation or do anything at all on here, feel free. 100% good with that. Ashley, if you want to sing on here, you can sing on here anytime you want. We'll help you out with that. Anybody else that wants to, and here's the other thing. If you guys ever want to do a Zoom call with some of your team members, feel free to use this line. The only time that I'm aware that it gets used regularly is Tuesday night calls. So if you want to use it, feel free. Please post it in Team Shady Messenger group. Those of you that aren't in it that want to be in it, please let us know. But if you want to use this, you're welcome to use it. And if you want it recorded, just let me know. All I have to do is log on, assign you as the host, and you can record it and save it. I won't be recording it and saving it. You'll be recording and saving it. I just have to assign you as the host, okay? So if you want that to happen, let me know. And I can do that from my phone. I can do that from my PC. So it's no big deal for me to assign you as the host and let you do the recording, okay? I think that's it. Yeah, I got nothing else. Anybody? Paul, you had a question earlier. Did you get answered?
Yeah. Well, actually, I wanted to just see if you could maybe stick around after the call's over because I wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? And then I'll unrecord, and then if you want to stay for Paul's question, you can stay for his question. But does anybody else have a question that you want to address to the group? Sweet. All right, everybody. Have a fantastic night. Have a great week. Free enrollment all week. See what you can do. Push it out there, make it happen.
All right. Thanks, Brent.
Absolutely. Stop it.